1997 Ford F350 water pump replacement. Got a pretty significant leak. Some basic hand tools. It's leaking pretty good. Open that drain at the bottom of your radiator. Try to catch as much as you can. It's a plastic drain. Careful with it. Part number for anyone playing the at-home game. Though I do recommend the gates if it's available. New thermostat and housing recommended. Holder tool. Step stool. And tough pillow. Something to lay across, gonna help. Some gloves, something to catch your coolant in. It's a powerstroke turbo diesel. This vehicle's got an extra vacuum pump. He just doesn't want that pump on there anymore, so also going to be removing the extra vacuum pump. Start by holding the water pump pulley, and you're going to break the fan nut loose. This is the holding tool I'm going to use, and just a breaker bar. It slides down there and it goes onto those 4 bolts, just like that. If you got a long drift punch or a long air chisel, use your air hammer. But if you set that up there, of course this is lefty loosey, and you hit that on the left side, it can break it loose. Or you use a big fan wrench. This one seems to be pretty well rusted on there. Now, if that chisel or long drift punch doesn't work, or you're just not even going to try that, you need a 1 7/8". I use this kind of universal 4-in-1 made by Powerbuilt. So part number. Should be looking something like this. Get a breaker bar on that wrench. You got your holder tool holding that water pump pulley, and you got your big wrench on there, and it is just a regular thread nut. You just lefty loosey hold that one where it is. Hold it. Now that that's loose, you basically just spin it off. Heavier than it looks. Don't let it just fall, you can damage your radiator. You can look at your new pump to see how long those threads are. Give you an idea when this fan is going to come off. Just keep one hand on it at all times. just gonna kind of carefully set it at the bottom. We're gonna take this shroud off, pull the fan and shroud up out of there. 8mm. One on each side at the top. Going to get this squeezy clamp, move it back, rotate this to break it loose. There it goes. Then pull it off. Got to pull it out of there anyway. Definitely makes this easier. You would have to drain your coolant and catch it, but this has been leaking. It's already low. I'm going to go on ahead and remove this additional vacuum pump that's not even supposed to be there. He wants it gone. But before I pull that belt off, I'm going to go on ahead and take this pulley loose, the 4 bolts that hold it, while this belt is holding the pulley. Some 10mm. That one was tight. $15mm on a breaker bar is all you need. You could use a serpentine belt tool though. Not required. Just take the tension off, slip the belt out. Take this belt out. It's just going to be in your way. Pay attention to how it's routed. though you should have a routing diagram. Going ahead and take that water pump pulley off. Looks like from underneath is going to be the thing. Deploy cardboard creeper. They got that sucker pretty tight. I'm gonna go get my cheater pipe. Got my cheater pipe put up on there. Yeah, no problem. This other one is a 13. The first one was a 14. Should be it. Get them bolts out, it should fall off. There it goes. And an extra vacuum pump comes up and out of there. Another squeezy clamp. Gonna try to twist it to break it free. These usually are pretty stuck on there. There it goes. Go get that lower hose bolt loose. There's a little sensor. Gotta wiggle that back and forth and pull it straight up and out of there. Might need a little persuasion. That looks like that probably needs to be replaced. It's stuck on there pretty good. Oh my. Get that lower hose off. That's gonna give you some trouble. I ran a small flathead screwdriver around the top edge of that hose to break her free. Twisted on it a bunch and then got it to come off. Then you're left with some 10 millimeters to get that water pump out. 10 millimeter. What I do is I stab a hole for every bolt in the shape of the part I'm taking out, and I stab the bolts in the holes. You know how Ford likes to use different size bolts. This may take a minute. Sometimes the bolt doesn't want to come out of there. You can use a push clip remover to put some tension on that thing. Pry it right out of there. That bolt was not liking life, didn't want to come out of there. Now, as you can see on this new pump, there's 1, 2, 3 bolts at the bottom. Just gonna feel that bolt and get that socket on there. Can't really see it. Take your time and work them out. You don't want to break any of these. That's one. It's bound to happen. This next one was loose. I took it out by hand. At least it didn't break. That last bolt, it was also loose to start with. I turned it out by hand. Now that's it. This pump should just come off. Usually just grab up here and give her a tug. There it goes. Just pull it up and out of there. Heavier than it looks. That was how to take out the water pump. You get in there and clean up all these mating surfaces, try to get off all the old gasket stuff. And we're supposed to reuse this sensor. Had to order bolts. It's been a few days. I just got them in. Back here with this F350. First things first, got a little bit of wiring to patch up. I got that new pigtail, and there was this one bolt that broke. For the little pigtail, we got this part number for those playing the at-home game. And if you need these water pump bolts, they were kind of hard to find Local parts stores didn't have any. End up getting them from this Riff Raff Diesel Performance, ordered online. Got them pretty quick. All set up again, ready to go. Seems like it might actually rain today. Brought my torch, some electrical stuff, pair of vice grips. Try and get that bolt out with. Well, before we do any heavy lifting, I'm gonna go ahead and do this electrical. Start by just snipping this old one off. Cut it pretty close to the connector, see if you can see inside here. It's totally destroyed anyway, can't see in there, it's too dark. Strip that wire back. Take some of this off of here. Strip this wire with some strippers. Gonna put a little heat shrink on it. Give these wires a little twist. Piece of heat shrink tubing. This is the new pigtail. We're just gonna slip some of that heat shrink tubing on there so there's no way we forget that. And we're gonna strip the end of this wire. And we're gonna Western Union these two wires together. That's once across each other. And then spin them around themselves. I usually go in there and smash that. Oh, pair of needle nose. Slide the heat shrink up. Heat it to shrink it. Use a heat gun, or you could just use a regular lighter. That's a good repair. Gonna put this up here, out of the way. All done with the electrical. Got that put away, so in case it starts to rain, I'll have less to put away. I recommend the original vice grips made by Irwin. Gonna start off soft on this. I'm not gonna heat it or anything. I'm just gonna try to grab onto it and see if it'll turn out. A lot of times once they're broke, there's no tension left on it and the whole piece will just come out. Let's hope that's one of those times. I always try to rock them back and forth. I don't think it moved. I'll go for a little tighter squish on there, a little more grip. Alright, I got a pretty good grip on it. I'll see. Try and work this thing back and forth. Nah, it ain't moving at all. It's not moving at all. Trying to work it. Yeah. Got it to break loose. Get y'all in there to see this. Yep. That's progress. Got a lower grip on it so I can pull up on it further. See if we can take this thing out. You ever get that thing on there so tight you can't get it off? Just loosen that and it'll come right off. Little trick: if you stick a rag or a paper towel in the water passage like this, get the whole thing wet and then hang it down like this, it'll siphon that out, start dripping it out for you. Gonna be hitting that piece of bolt with a little bit of heat. The old Burns-O-Matic map fuel torch. I got a little piece of sandpaper, save our sensor from the heat. Get to go a little bit further each time. Get it to spin out of here. Piece of paper towel, steady draining that water jacket for me. I'm gonna go put this back on. I don't want any water on that seam. Give you guys the overhead view. You get it moving, keep moving it. Move it back and forth. Make a little heat in there. Try to break that stuff up in there. Try to push it a little further. Ooh. Keep making a little bit of progress, but mostly work back and forth. Don't destroy what's sticking out. It's all you got to work with. I try not to put any lube on it because then my vice grips will slip off. Some guys heat the bolt and hit it with a crayon or a candle. It's supposed to go up in there, I don't know. It's going a little further. Yeah, buddy. Discovered vacuum leak. Pop this connector off. There's the broken pieces of these lines in there. Gonna use needle nose to get the piece out. Both sides here. Now pretty much can just put it back on if there's enough length. Alright, fixed. That bolt wasn't coming out. Went and grabbed welder. Get this thing set up and weld the nut on there. Brought a couple various sizes and a stainless washer. Good to have that what they call it, PPE. Yeah, this is kind of new. I only had it a year or two. Caught a spark on my head one time. It's pretty comfortable and won't be catching those sparks in my hair anymore. So we're gonna throw a washer on there and then pick the best fit and basically just weld the inside of this nut to that bolt, and then this important step, let it cool. I'm just going to take off and come back. They say let it cool at least an hour. Just going to use one of the old bolts from the water pump for the earth. Get this thing started. Tough pillow putting in work. Step stool comes in handy too. I cleaned up a spot to hook up the ground. Cleaned up the threads a little bit so it'll make a decent connection. Just gonna put it in next to this broken bolt. Washer on here. And let's see if this nut fits on. Not really. Alright. That was the small one. This is medium. Alright. That's the one. Hook up earth. with the MIG. That's the nut. I'm trying to protect this little sensor, crank position sensor. That should do the trick. I got at least an hour to wait, so I'm gonna go mess with that big block. Back out here, it's been a couple hours, definitely cooled down. We're gonna see what's up with this. Is it gonna come loose or not? Sounds like it's coming out. Getting pretty tight. Oh, broke off. It literally broke the bolt. There's a piece of bolt left in there. Well, it's not really a better method, so going back again with another nut. Gonna weld it on. Try not to get it too hot. I guess we wait again. Back again. Give this another shot. Shoot a little WD. I'm gonna see if my impact fits in there. Give it a shot. It's getting real tight. I feel like I'm gonna break the bolt again. Set on the weakest setting. It does fit. Well, here goes nothing. Oh, it broke the nut off. I broke that bolt just a little bit shorter. Still got some hanging out. 1, 2, third time's a charm. Clamp back on there. Third try. Still a good amount of that bolt there. Putting in some protection for that crank sensor. Alright, it's cooled down. Third time's a charm. Maybe I'm gonna tighten it a little bit, see if it'll move. Yeah, it moved. It feels good to have it move. Real stiff. Hit it with a little bit of WD. Bring some of that WD with it. It went in pretty mild-mannered. Now if it would just come all the way out. Come on. Yeah, that's what victory looks like. That sucker was galled in there, huh? Third time was a charm. Now, I didn't foresee it was gonna probably be all boogered up in the threads. I thought it was just kind of a rusted fastener. I'll have to grab a tap and run it in there and clean up these threads. Back here again, this time I brought tap and die. We're gonna clean that hole up, make sure there's no problems with the new one. Clean that hole up best we can, then I'm gonna finish cleaning up this surface. I already kind of started. Get it nice and clean. Start putting this pump back on. And I just gotta figure out which one of these tabs to use. If you have a gauge, you can use it. Get out these bolts and see what we're dealing with here. Very well packaged. So it's one of these small ones that got broken. Let's see what it is. Just gonna take my time, clean up these threads. I'm gonna run this bolt all the way in and out, at least once. I'm just cleaning up these surfaces. I like to take a little piece of trim or any sort of piece of flat stock, super flat stock, wrap it in fine sandpaper, 320 or finer, and then use that to clean the surfaces. So this new piece we got, thermostat housing piece, it's gonna go here. It's a nice piece. Piece that goes here, we're gonna have to pull it off the old one. They are 8 millimeters. recommend extension and impact. I usually step on the part too, so the part won't go anywhere. Check this thing out real good. If it's not reusable, you'll have to replace it. It's in pretty bad shape, guys. I'm gonna recommend he replaces it. These bolts don't look too bad, so we're gonna reuse them. Clean them up a little bit. That's better. Part number for anyone playing the at-home game. So we're gonna take this, drop it in. Take this, drop it in. Start these bolts by hand. You can goop this if you want to, but I'm not gonna goop it. Makes the job when you service this vehicle for a new thermostat much easier. Put like 7 to 9 foot-pounds on there. They don't need to be real tight, they're pretty small. Gonna clean up the contact on this old sensor. Should probably use a new sensor, but the old one worked. Pretty easy to replace if it ever fails. It's right on top. That's a little better. Don't you hate it when it solidifies in there? It's still gooey. Gonna put just a little bit of this RTV on the threads, and I'm gonna screw it in, but I'm not gonna screw it in all the way. These threads get bigger, you could bust this housing. Just gonna snug it up. The goal is for there to be no leaks. Finish tightening that with a socket. 17 millimeter. Snug. Gotta take this one. Tube fitting off. They're usually in pretty good shape, but I think they're made of brass. Stand on it and give her a whack with the hammer. There it goes. I'm going to do the same thing with it. A little bit of goop, thread it in. A little bit of goop. snug it, you could tap it with your hammer if you want. If it's clean, it's less likely to leak. This kit comes with gaskets and new bolts for this outlet pipe. That's about useless right there. Offers an interesting look from inside here. You can see the temp sensor and the thermostat. Door wouldn't shut. I did the classic stick washers back there. They weren't enough. I ended up putting a whole nut under the bottom one, a couple washers under the top one. Now it shuts. Success. Used a 13mm ratcheting wrench. It's a quick fix. You could goop this one too, but you don't have to. It comes with a gasket. What you do is you take this end here and you work this gasket around it. Careful not to tear the gasket. Make sure that gasket gets seated all the way down in that bottom corner there. Don't let it ride up anywhere. Kind of a pain. Once you get it though. Alright. Then you just bolt that sucker on there. Now it faces down. This tube, open tube, faces down. You can goop it if you want, but messing with this thing later, it's a lot easier if you don't. Start them both by hand. It's a 13mm. Snug them up. About 17 foot-pounds. And it looks like this on the front. You're good on the front. Flip it over. Throw this gasket up here, and you're just gonna push it down into the groove. It's got these little kind of tabs sticking off the sides. It's gonna hold it in there if you push it down hard. This little flathead. Work it down in the groove. Make it stay. Again, this is a place where you could use RTV. The RTV can help hold the gasket. You don't have to use a gasket at all. You could just use RTV. This thing's gonna come off a lot easier if you just use this gasket. Later on down the road, if you ever have to service this again. Careful with the flathead, don't use a sharp one. You don't want to cut this gasket anywhere. Some of them don't hold themselves in too good. These ones seem like they do a little better job of holding themselves in once you get them all in. Alright, once you get that gasket in, time to throw this pump back on. This is where I pull out the old bolts one at a time and replace them with the new bolts in the pattern so we can put them back in where they go. Well, this kit does have the exact same bolts. If you didn't do this, the three longest ones are on the right, the oddball one is top left, and all the other shorter ones are as you see. Just gonna grab it and shove it on there and stick one bolt in. I got one of the longer bolts. I'm gonna do the top hole here. Make it sure, take one last look at that gasket. Make sure it's all the way on before you try to put this on. Gonna try to line that up best I can and push it up there and hang it with that one bolt. I got the long one there. I'm gonna skip the two shorties and then I'm gonna do this oddball one. I'm just gonna start them all. Shorty at the top. Don't tighten any of them all the way down. That way you can move it a little bit to get these started. Helps a lot. the troubled hole. Shouldn't give us any trouble. Last one. Again, you could goop these bolts a little bit. Not necessary. The gasket goes on the inside of this pump. The bolt holes are on the outside of the gasket. Next, gonna snug them up. Did it? Snug it up. It's not real tight. It's like 17 foot-pounds. You get them all snug down, then you're gonna torque them to 17. You're gonna go crisscross. Pop the lower hose back on. Be a good time to replace it if it's bad or old. We got this little tube here. Shove it down and on there. I got this sensor to hook back up. Literally just pushes on there. I kind of spin up the extra wire. Tighten that hose clamp back up down there. Pulley. Supposed to turn this pump to ensure that you installed it correctly. It should spin freely. I try to put one of these bolt holes straight up and down so I know where it's at. Poke a bolt through the pulley. There it goes. Install these pulley bolts by hand. Snug them down, probably 20 foot-pounds. They're kind of small, you don't want to break them. You got that fan to put back on, shroud. Good time to put on the belt. So routing, in case yours is missing. It's a 15 millimeter on that tensioner. Gonna want to hook on and have somewhere, have some space to move it. You're gonna pull it left. And that's it. The fan was sitting in direct sunlight in Texas. It's probably 150 degrees. I can't hardly even touch it. One space in the fan that's bigger. Seems like it'd be off balance that way, but there is a spot that's bigger. We put the shroud in about halfway so you can get the fan in. Just trying to thread this fan on. You get those threads started and you just spin it on. It's a regular thread, righty-tighty. Try to get this fan shroud back in place. There's a couple slots at the bottom, little tabs go push down into, and a couple fasteners at the top. Reconnect that upper hose. Top hose. A little overflow tank. Hook this hose back up. Actually, looks like it's got a leak. We're going to trim that. Cut that piece off. Rest of the hose is good. Now you're going to get that same tool you took this off with, and you're going to tighten it. You're not supposed to put anything on it. If you do put something on them threads, put some anti-seize on there. Help the next guy. Throw on new band clamps if you have to. The old one was pretty bad. It broke. Throwing on a new one. Use stainless ones if you can, if they're available. Put this, make it face an easy way to get to. You're gonna wait 24 hours for all that goop to fully cure and top it off with fluid. You're good to go. That was water pump replacement on a 7.3 diesel. All right, guys, just some random guy, random driveway.